item under discussion. Members can indicate their wish to speak by raising their hand and should only speak when I, as chair, invite them to do so. The officers present will only switch on their video link on when they wish to be invited to speak by me as the chair. As chair, I will confirm the name of any visiting speaker at the appropriate time in the agenda who will address the committee by audio link. Councillors should declare that they are leaving the meeting and switch off their video link if they have a disclosable pecuniary interest or other personal interests in an item on the agenda. The councillors can switch on their video link when I call the next agenda item. Voting will be taken by roll call and I will confirm the recommendation proposed to the committee before the voting begins. Can each member indicate whether they are for or against the recommendation or whether they wish to abstain? Hopefully we will not have any IT problems, but can I remind councillors that if their connection is lost or they have any other technical problem, that they should immediately advise a democratic support officer and use their meeting link to regain access again. So that's all of the formal introductions. We don't have any apologies for absence because I can see everybody is present. Item 2, whether anybody's got any declarations of interests. No, none to declare. Thank you very much. I don't have any urgent matters. Can I ask colleagues whether you're happy with the minutes of the meeting held on the 8th of September last year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And that moves us on to the one major item that we have, which is the Manydown programme update report. Is that you doing an introduction first, John, and then handing over to Andrew?
Probably me doing the whole thing.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, councillors. Good evening, officers. There are some pink papers attached to this report. Is it proposed that anyone wants to ask any questions about those? No, okay, fine. Good. So, as Councillor Bound said, this is a report to the Manydown Executive Committee, which is a programme update report. I'm pleased to say that progress continues to be made and the joint venture partnership with Urban and Civic and Welcomes Trust is now in place, and Urban and Civic, as was always intended, are now leading the project, with us working alongside them. And important objectives ahead are to accomplish detailed planning. We have been granted outline planning permission, resolving the Section 106 agreement, and moving forward in relation to the country park. The Manydown Development Vehicle, which is the joint company set up between the two councils on the one hand and Urban and Civic and Welcome Trust on the other, is now in place as a company, and they have to, one of their priorities is to bring forward an overarching business plan this year. In the meantime, the two councils, which who are organised together as the Manydown Garden Communities LLP, have approved at a board meeting the MGC business plan and budget for 2021, and that's one of the appendixes that is attached to this report. The MGC will be completing important work on areas that are of high importance to the two councils relating to affordable housing and a Manydown standard. And the intention is that those documents will be reviewed next month by the MGC board. But the important thing we have to bear in mind is that these pieces of work and these are initiatives that need to be agreed between us and our partners at Urban and Civic and Welcome Trust. It's worth noting that since we last met, there's been a further Manydown Overview Committee, and we are asked to note the comments of what I'll call the mock. And so it might be useful if I took us through some of the points that our fellow councillors raised at the mock meeting in December. It was a good, positive meeting, and amongst some of the points raised by our councillors related to passive house, which is one of the ways of achieving highly sustainable new homes, and the development manager, Richard Coppell from Urban and Civic, responded to that, and he made the point that the building industry is yet to embrace passive house because it is technically challenging and expensive, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't push for good standards, and that's very much the view that the councils hold, of course. The mock councillors also raised questions about the timeline for reserved matters applications. They recognised in terms of sustainability that what we may do now may be out of date in 50 years' time, but so we must do the best we can at any one particular point. They asked whether we could plant trees if some buildings cannot be net zero carbon. They highlighted the need for utility channels to be properly provided to limit disruption in the future. There was a particular ongoing interest in the management and maintenance of the new country park. There was questions also about archaeological surveys. And I think archaeological surveys are due to begin in March. It was proposed that there needed to be clear ownership in relation to the Manydown standard. In relation to utilities, it was agreed that coordination on a site of this scale was very important, and this was being currently considered. The development manager also confirmed the desire to push for all electric development and the planting of trees, and confirmed that the aspiration to increase biodiversity was high on the agenda. On timescale, it was confirmed that following achieving outline consent and the land drawdown process, we would begin. We want to be in a position to start infrastructure works, and by the end of this year is the plan, with a start on house building in 2022. With regard to the way forward on the country park, this is going to be considered as part of the overall overarching business plan from the MDV, and I'm very keen that we involve stakeholders, councillors, parish councils and so forth in this. So that really, I think, summarises the important feedback we got from the mock. And then finally, on southern Manydown, the two councils, jointly with the Society of Merchant Venturers, have submitted their response to the issues and options consultation of the local plan update, and we're now going to be responding to statutory and interested parties, and through the consultancy team developing our proposals in detail for that much longer term project on for southern Manydown. So our colleagues, that confirms where we've got to so far on this very important project, and I'm, as always, very conscious of the need to continue to encourage our partners and our officers to ensure.
Lovely, thank you, Councillor Isaac. Any comments, Councillor Golding?
No, just thank you for a very thorough update, Councillor Isaac.
Thank you for that. My only observation, Councillor Isaac, would be it's great to have the project update, and I think everybody will be very interested in those items, and some of them, you know, how we deal with offsetting, sustainability, passive house, all those things that we've been talking about for some time as far as the detail being worked up, and actually the progress of the country park and how that potentially can help us with progress as far as biodiversity. So thank you for those updates. Just to remind us as the committee, we're asked to consider and comment on the scope and the content of this report, and note the comments of the Manydown Overview Committee. It is recommended that the Manydown Executive Committee notes the progress made on the Manydown programme, notes the comments of the Manydown Overview Committee, approves the MGC LLP Business Plan and Budget 2021 at Confidential Appendix 1, and notes the Vision and Development Principles of Southern Manydown at Confidential Appendix 3. So can I ask whether you are happy to do those things?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Happy with that? Brilliant. Thank you very much. As that's our only major item, that brings our meeting to a close. Thank you very much and have a very good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Band.
Thank you. That's...
Yeah.